And not sure who needs to hear it, but you always want to use the foot here, get it on the longest, get it as much support as you can. So I'm going to go, it's the bevels here, so I'm losing my edge for wood. It's more stable going this direction. And then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go left-handed to make my mark. And then it's pretty obvious where the waist is, but it's good practice to color it. Okay, so I'm just going to use the chisel. I don't know, it's about a 1/2 inch. It's metric, though. Is it metric? No, I think it actually is in imperial. So I'm going to use my joiner's mallet, just the big wooden one. Thought I might need a wider chisel to set kind of the outside of the cut, but this is, it's wide enough. You just want to make sure that you chop out right at the line. So you give it a little tap, and what happens is if anything splits or chips like that wanted to go, you can see how right there it's following the grain, and I need to stop that. I'm going to come over and chop that out. And then you only want to go part way down, otherwise you start chopping out the fibers. You start pushing on the other side, and the other side breaks in a bad way. So that's all that needs so far. I'm going to flip it over. And I can move this in a bit further, I think, without getting in the way of the chisel. So once again, I just gently, carefully line up my chisel. Move over to finish the marking cut. Got to tighten up my the horse. So, just like cutting out a mortise, you want to do the bulk of the chopping away from your line. So I'm out here on the end, and you can hear it splinter, which is one reason I chose this wood. It's got a lot of character, but it breaks in kind of wild ways. It starts to split, and then it follows the grain. And then it rips in. Pretty quickly and then pretty wildly. But that's why understanding the grain of the wood is important. Like you're looking at a plate full of spaghetti. And I'm just going to do some paring now. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I have a line I made. Designate the center of the circle, so I'm going to reinforce that line. I got to remember it's the inside. It's the inside mark. It's the inside hole, not the mark. It's the hole. So what I want to do is hold the nut in place, trace around it, and then I'll just make sure that I chop to the inside of the marks. And so something like that. So that's what I'm going to do just on the other side. Okay, here goes nothing. I'm I'm going with a chisel that's slightly smaller than, because it's metric, it's right around 5/8. And so this is going to be a little smaller, a little bigger, depending on where the metric system shakes out. My strategy is to just go from point to point. I'm actually going to go inside the line here, just to clear out some of the waste and take the pressure off the chisel. Same thing over here. I'm going to just bust that back. Same thing here. I'm going to go inside, just nibble away. Looks like I can go a little farther on the line here. So anyways, that's the general idea. Looks like definitely the top could use a little more room. Okay, it's a little weird. Okay, so anyways, that's the idea. I just need to kind of scrape out the bottom, and that probably won't make great video to do 10 minutes of that. But that bolt's going to go in there, or that nut's going to go in there nice and tight. And that's what we're looking for. So anyways, we're on our way. Okay, so here goes nothing. Going to apply a little bit of persuasion with the hammer. Oh, and there's what we want. Want it to be below the surface of the wood so that it does not touch the wood. And that looks to be pretty good. I think that's flush. If you need to get it out, you just go underneath, tap the rod out. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a scratch over here. Carve out the bottom. Make sure that that nut can properly bottom out. One more quick check. Right, and that's definitely in business right there. So let's elevate this back out. And there it is. So that sits in there, and then there's a washer. Spring will go in there at some point. I might have to cut that in half. That's pretty generous. So there's going to be a washer and a nut. So these guys go around on the back and then hold this guy in position. And then the front plate's already done with the cutouts, so that's all set. So anyways, just have to do the other side now.